Live.
Just tell me when y'all want me to leave.
What we'll probably do is we'll just say, we'll just finish that. We'll say thanks for joining us, and that'll just kind of be the cue. And we'll probably stay on for like maybe 5 or 10 more minutes, go into the game stuff, and go from there.
Well, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, David.
How is everybody?
Fantastic. David, we have a special guest today.
We do. I'm excited about this. This is our weekly pregame show. It's brought to you by Cat Plumbing. We want to thank Michael Berner at Cat Plumbing for being a sponsor on with us this year to help bring us our pregame show. He also sponsors our halftime stats as well as our postgame stats. So thank you for everything, Michael Berner. And we'll be seeing you soon out here tonight, I'm sure. So we'll talk to you soon, Michael. But in the meantime, hear from the Stephen Baker Foundation. Chet, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and how you came about to be on the Stephen Baker Foundation, and then what it is y'all are trying to accomplish.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm Chet Switzer.
Put that a little closer to your mouth. There you
This
go.
way?
There you go.
There
Perfect.
you go.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, Chet Switzer. Grew up in Sanger. Still really involved in the community. Still have family here. We actually live up near Gainesville now, but we're here all the time. And as far as being involved with the Stephen Baker Award and scholarship and the foundation and now working toward the memorial, it's just always been there in my life. But for most people that don't know, and I think most people probably watching probably do know the story of Stephen Baker and why we have a scholarship and an award.
And for those that don't know, Stephen Baker, the football field over here right off the highway has always been Stephen Baker Field. And I always have been here near. I've only been in Sanger for 20 years, but it's always been Stephen Baker Field over there. Yeah. And this year we have the new sign over here because we now have Stephen Baker Field at Indian Stadium.
Is that cool or what?
That is very cool. Very cool.
That is awesome. And that's kind of what got started with this as far as it kind of started as a conversation. Of course, I remember, I can't say I remember Stephen per se, but my brother was on the team. My sister had just graduated Sanger High. I was in the first grade when unfortunately Steve left us. And he, everything at that point was just a heavy thing. And at that time, I think the classmates and teammates wanted something really positive to come out of it, and I think it has, and that is through the scholarship and the award. I know I received the award in 1976, and which might be saying something as far as where my life has gone, but it was just a great honor, and I would say it was one of the things that I still remember well and am very proud of. I was surprised and proud. And of course the award and the scholarship goes to a student athlete who is a good student, and a letter the student has to letter in two sports. Stephen was a great athlete, well liked. He lettered in all 4 sports, because I don't think we had soccer back then.
Well, back then it would have been, so back then, let's clarify that, because back then it would have been a little different. So it would have been football, basketball, baseball, and track, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's the reason I'm here today, is the Stephen Baker Field, as you just mentioned, was a big deal. I mean, it was Stephen Baker Field.
I played on that field. I was from Pilot Point, but I played against Sanger on that field.
I hope you didn't enjoy that. but anyway,
we were pretty good in those days.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of what I was thinking. I wasn't going to go there. Our rivalry, and for years was probably our biggest rivalry was Pilot Point.
Yeah.
Just down the road, and it's like, you don't win
before the lake and
game.
After the lake, right? Before the lake was there.
Oh yeah, especially before the lake.
Yeah.
And because it was a lot quicker to get there.
Yeah.
But and so many people were interrelated, so to speak. Had family on both sides of the field at that point.
Sure.
And but yeah, I guess you kind of say if you didn't win any of the games, you beat Pilot Point.
Right? You could be 1-9 as long as you beat
You know
Pilot
what?
Point.
It's successful. No, you know, I am. That's not exactly true.
No, I understand. I
Because,
get it, though.
believe it or not, Frisco was one of
Oh,
our
yeah.
level big
Yeah.
rivals. Frisco High, and
That's crazy, right? And when I was at Pilot Point, we were still playing Frisco
There
High,
you go.
even in the early 90s. And
So-
that, I mean, it's crazy to think how big Frisco's gotten, not to get off topic, but they have like 15 high schools now.
I can't believe it.
It's
I mean,
insane.
I don't. Yeah, it's. Yeah, I used to we'd drive in Frisco. Now we're getting off topic.
I know. It's okay.
We drive in
We-
Frisco.
That's our
what we
our
do.
MO, though.
Yeah, that's what we
Well,
do.
That's 100% our MO.
Y'all probably just need to cut me off here. We'll
No,
probably
no. We want to hear the history. That's what we're here for.
We'll never get done what we came to do. But no, I said we used to come into town in Frisco, you know, and you kind of, hey, when I played it a long time ago.
Sure.
So you'd come around into Frisco and you'd come around the curve, coming into edge of town, and the school and the gymnasium, for instance, was downtown in the field.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
right off of downtown. And we would drive through there and look around as, like, you know what? I think these folks got it worse off than we do. and now, like you say, 15 high schools, place to be. But anyway, that's one reason that we're doing this, is what you said about the field. You played there. We obviously, from Sanger, we played sports, track, especially football and track, and a lot of off-season was on Stephen Baker Field.
Yeah.
And as time went on, folks didn't know who Stephen Baker was.
Right.
And out of a conversation of
So to give you my personal experience, I thought it was somebody that must have donated the land where the field was built.
exactly.
That's
And-
what I thought. I thought it was the kind of like Porter Park
Yeah.
was donated by John Porter.
And I
the
thought
land
the
was
same
donated
thing
by
because
John Porter.
people like you said, as time goes by, people just forget and quit telling the story.
Yeah.
So like people like me when I moved here 20 years ago, I didn't know. I thought the exact
Exactly.
same thing that David was. I thought it was just a donation.
Right, and that's
So-
one reason one of the reasons we wanted a memorial.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Stephen Baker Field, and then, like I said, I sat there in March and just looked around at Stephen Baker Field. I was sitting in a parking lot on there on the west side, and it's just depressing.
Sure.
And of course, there had been talk about, naming something here at the high school for Stephen Baker, to keep the legacy going. And so, lo and behold, thank you to the Sanger School District
Yeah.
and the school board for doing this, because this is absolutely great.
Yeah, it is.
I just
And
think I think that's perfect.
If you zoom in on if you screenshot our broadcast now in the background, you can see the entrance above where you walk in tonight, and that's exactly what it says at Stephen Baker Field at Indian Stadium. And I think it's a perfect way to live that legacy out.
It is absolutely the way it should be.
Yep.
But so along that lines, along with the conversation with Tona Bates, she's president of the Sanger Historical Society,
Oh, okay.
and she grew up here and was a classmate of Stephen's.
Oh, nice.
And we were talking one day, and I'm like, Sanger's just not the Sanger we remember. It's not. We're losing Sanger, in our opinion, the old people's opinion.
Sure.
And
We're not 15 high schools, but we are growing.
well, it is, and it's expanding, and it's going to grow. It's
Yeah,
going to expand. It's going to get bigger, and I'm going to say better.
Sure. Everybody, there's a lot of people that don't want the town to grow, and my rebuttal to that is always, one of the busiest highways in the world splits your town. It's going to
Right.
grow.
That's
Right.
true.
It's going to grow.
That's true.
And
You can contain it.
when the next generation doesn't want to continue to farm their family's farm and they sell it to a developer,
Yep.
the
It's
city
gonna-
can't control that.
Which you see that happening already right now, all around
Right.
us.
But I think it can be a positive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
And
can
that's
be.
the way you need to look at it.
But
because
with the growth brings in the legacy of the Stephen Baker Field,
Yeah, right.
and now it's the foundation.
So my point, as we talked this day, and this was before COVID, we were
Yeah.
having this conversation, and I said, I think maybe someone had come in the museum and talked to Tona and said, who was Stephen Baker? And I'd already kind of been thinking along that lines myself, and I said, well, the thing of it is, you need to kind of preserve your history. Your legacy comes from your history. That's what made Sanger a great community. I think still is a great community to live in. We don't want to lose that. And the way that you don't lose that is by remembering, my kind of term is, remember what you need to remember. And I said, wouldn't it be great if we had a statue of Stephen and, maybe, and I think a little twinkle or a little light went off on Tona, and so here we are. Now we had started doing research on what to do as far as a memorial, and it kind of came along statue-wise, and that's what we're planning is a memorial, which will be a statue of Stephen, and his last picture is one that would of him for publicity, like in the program or in the paper,
Yeah.
or the annual. If the picture was him throwing a football, the football's just leaving his hand, and that's the way we remember Stephen.
Yeah.
Out there doing it.
And is that what the statue's going to be?
That statue's
Yeah.
going to be
That's
exactly
awesome.
that picture.
I don't know who showed it to me, but somebody showed me a picture of what it's going to look like. I think it might have been you when I met you a couple
could
weeks
be,
ago.
could be.
Y'all had a little table set up
Right,
inside in here.
right.
And I think it looks remarkable. I'm excited about it. I
Well,
really,
and it
really am.
is, and it is a positive thing because, like I said, it's not just about the past; it's about the future.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And by that, when all this, and it kind of, I will back up and say it, as far as any plans or planning at that point, it was mainly research. We had talked to a sculptor or two or a foundry or whatnot. What is it? Was it even possible? That kind of thing. Then COVID hit, and we all know what COVID
Yeah.
did to everything.
It shut everything down.
And so I really thought that, that's probably not going to happen now. It's just,
Yeah.
But lo and behold, one of his teammates had retired and came into the area, and it was actually, from what I understand, Stephen's best friend.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, let's get this thing going again.
Love it.
So we had meetings right after the first of the year with his teammates, some of his teammates and some of his classmates. And
What class was he in? Do you know?
he would have graduated in 1966.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's the reason it started. We started planning then, and then here we are today.
Nice.
We've been raising funds since about, you can say after the first year, but I'll just say February.
Okay.
And we set a goal, and we had we found a foundry in the Metroplex, and even though to my knowledge, and I'm on the committee, but we haven't picked an artist. But that is kind of a lot of the expenses, the
Right.
artist, depending on what. So that's what we're looking at, and we haven't done that. But so that was our goal. What is it going to take to get this project done? And then the school board has really been great working with us. Well, back in March when I was sitting in the car and I did a video probably in first of March, and I put out, I think I'm on one of the Sanger sites or both of them on Facebook, and I said we got a long ways to go because we were just getting started, and we still have a ways to go, but it's getting done, and that's the main thing.
It is getting done. I believe it was the last home game here. There were little pamphlet, or not pamphlets, but I guess little envelopes being passed out. Speaking
of,
and there you have one up there. Sweet.
There's his. There is his. That would be his statue.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
That's
Very
that's
cool.
it right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a picture. It came right out of it.
Okay.
So anyway, that's what we've been doing. We've been working on it. We still have a ways to go, and that's one reason I'm sitting here with you guys talking to the Indian Nation. We've had a lot of people donate.
Nice.
But we need help.
Okay.
And we need folks to, I hope, get a part of it just like we are.
Yep.
Because I think that's the thing. I think when you walk by that memorial, and if you donated to me, or at least when I've been part of something like that, donating, I feel like it's a part of me.
Agreed.
I'm a part of this movement.
I like this.
Yeah.
This because we can share this on our social media
Okay,
page.
yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I was going to.
Well, we're gonna get you started right now. I'll let Brett do the honors here.
Yeah, we're while you're here for the Stephen Baker Foundation, and it's not much, but we are going to Sanger Sports Corner is going to cut a check for $1,000.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
I know it's not much, but it's going to hopefully get you to your goal.
It will. And listen, that is awesome. And I can't tell you, I know I'm speaking for the rest of the committee and a lot and folks that have really gotten in and helped donated and raised donation. I know they appreciate
Yes.
that. I can't tell you how much.
I think it's a
and
great
what
cause.
it means to me
Yeah, I think
that
it's a
you
great
would sit
cause.
here and say that.
Yeah.
That's great.
So we
Well, we want to get the ball rolling.
we
We
wanna
know
get the
that
ball
people will
rolling,
follow
yeah.
our lead,
Yeah.
and we'll put this information out on our page this evening.
Okay.
Give us some time to get the
Sure.
PayPal
Yeah.
up there, listeners out there, and then we'll get it out there, and then we'll share y'all have a Facebook page. I shared it 2 weeks ago when we met.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I'll share y'all's page again several times over the coming weeks, so people can see it and know what it's about. It's a great process to be able to honor the legacy of the past and continue to push that forward and educate everyone about who Stephen Baker is versus making the poor assumption that I made by thinking it was just who donated the land. You know what I mean?
And it's I know. Speaking to Coach Rogers, a while ago, before we started here, we had a meeting, and I've got to talk to Coach Rogers, and I'm impressed with Coach Rogers in many ways. But he's like, it's got to be positive.
Right.
And it is. And that's exactly what we want. And
Yep.
so whatever we raise that fund-wise, we want the memorial, obviously. That's our first goal.
Right.
And the second goal is, like you say, the scholarship.
Yeah.
So anything that goes over that will definitely go straight to the scholarship.
Yep.
And, and just say, you think, well, we don't want to think about the past. Well, okay, here's something about the future. When they started this, because things were different. The boys played, like we just said, probably 4 sports. I can't think of a 5th sport it would have been. Maybe, I don't even know if they ran cross country or not back then. They may have, I don't know.
Good question.
But the 4 main sports, and the girls kind of got left out.
Yeah.
And when I say left out, some schools didn't have any girls sports. I think Sanger had basketball for a long time and maybe volleyball. It was probably years later that they had track programs, and now I know that's expanded. Title IX, that's for. We're all equal here.
Yep.
And so back when they started, his teammates and classmates started the scholarship fund and the award. It went to a boy athlete, a male athlete. Well, that's not the case anymore.
Right.
And it shouldn't be.
Right.
Because that's the thing, the way things evolved for the better. That's evolving. Can you evolve to the future? I don't know. But that is moving to the future and that's what this is about.
Well, one of the things I've always loved about history is you got to know where you've been to know where you're going.
Well, that's great. Yep.
And so part of where we've been as a town and a community with Sanger is Stephen Baker and what he lived throughout his life. And I know that he had a short, young life, but the number of lives he impacted around him when he was a player and active in athletics, I've never heard anything but good things about the young man. And I think we can do a lot by living that legacy out through the future.
I think you're right, and I think that's what we're trying to promote.
Yes, sir.
Exactly, promote
Yes,
that.
sir.
And boy, I wished he was sitting right here saying, "This is my foundation. This is my memorial." It wouldn't be his memorial if he
Sure,
said
it'd just be his foundation.
But I think, and things get moved around, of course. But I've never heard anything bad about Stephen. He was a good guy, good kid, good student. He probably wasn't going to finish top in his class. I don't know. That's one reason I think it was set up. You didn't have to be in the top 10% of your class or something like that. You had to be a good student, and if I remember right, you had to basically have, back in my day, you'd call it an AB average.
Yeah,
And
AB honor roll. Yeah.
and that's just solid.
Yeah.
That's what you want to be. That's folks like Stephen, folks like we all know. Hopefully, we're considered that way. As we said here, we're the guys and the gals that get it done.
Yes.
Agreed. We're what makes this country the way it is, and the way it can always be a little better.
That's very well said, Chip.
Yep. And what a better way to have that remembrance with a statue sitting right up there to remind everybody where Sanger has been and where we're going.
Yeah, and it's still in the works. Hopefully we will have a QR code on it, so when someone comes from out of town or doesn't know,
that's a great
they can
idea.
look
That's a great idea.
And there's a story. We've talked about that. There's all kinds of things that can just be really positive about this.
I like that idea.
Yeah. So
because that's moving with the technology of today, right? I mean,
exactly.
That's
the future again, right?
Right. Right. I was talking to somebody today about just how kids get in trouble now with different technologies, and they're like, well, we didn't have that when we were kids, so we couldn't get in that kind of trouble. We found other trouble to get in.
No,
we couldn't get into any trouble that was around electronics, though.
Right.
Yeah, but we don't want to go into the
No,
trouble
no,
thing.
no,
Okay,
no.
yeah, you kind of had me worried there for a minute.
Well, Chet, we appreciate you joining us very much, sir. We know your time is busy,
Yeah.
and we thank you very much.
Well, hey, I
It
do
was-
appreciate you.
It was an honor to have you on there with us,
I
sir.
appreciate you having me and spreading the word for Stephen and just keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
We
Thank you
love
very
it.
much.
I tune in on a regular basis.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
We appreciate you.
Once
Thanks for being a
you're
loyal
a singer Indian, you're always a singer.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Purple and gold, sir.
All right, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank
It's
you.
good. Yes, good to see you.
Hey, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And, see, I'll let you.
I've got one, and I've got your phone number.
And we'll get you that check.
Yeah, anytime, and that's the thing I won't say this, but one of the, if this goes any farther, I'll say y'all a lot.
That was fun.
If you have anybody that might.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's perfect. Yes, sir. Please do.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you
We
very
sure will.
much.
We'll pass
Thanks,
them out
sir.
today. Well, that was fun, Brett.
That was great.
He did a fantastic job. I know he shared with me when I met him 2 weeks ago. He shared with me that he's not very big on wanting to talk, but I thought he did very
I
well.
thought you did a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, he did awesome. And so we are going to transition into some pregame stuff. And so one of the things we shared yesterday in the coaches show is this slide here. So we're playing Cattle Mills tonight. Last night, the freshmen and JV went out to Cattle Mills and got victories. The freshman team won 24-8. The JV team won 22-6. So tonight we go for the sweep and try to go 3 for 3 against Cattle Mills in our second week of district play.
And not to jinx it, but history shows that when freshmen and JV do well, varsity does well.
That is typically the case. So Cattle Mills, again, they've traditionally been led by a dual quarterback threat. Now, it seems to be that that's not the case now because apparently they've had some turmoil at the QB position. I'm not going to go over into super grand details with that because I don't know what I don't know, and I don't want to talk uneducatedly about it just based on rumor mill.
Yep, that's my job.
But I will say this. Even in the freshman game, they ran 2 quarterbacks.
Okay.
So running 2 quarterbacks might just be their thing in Cattle Mills.
Okay.
If we remember last year, they had the really good quarterback, and they still rotated somebody in else last year against us too, because that one quarterback had been coming back off of injury, I think. And so it might just be that coach's style that he likes to run a 2 quarterback system. I was not there for the JV game yesterday for Cattle Mills. I don't know if they ran 2 quarterbacks in the JV. I know that for Sanger, Texas, we run 3 quarterbacks on the JV. So you never know. And so I think we need to be prepared for all things. I do know that the quarterback that is for sure going to be playing this evening is a dual threat quarterback. He runs the ball and he does do a little bit of throwing. The quarterback that's rumored to not be playing tonight was the better passer of the 2 because they had passed for a combined 1,300 yards. And they have, looks like to be a running back by committee. They have 4 running backs over 100 yards. They do have 2 really big receiver targets, number 83 and number 1, both with over 20 catches and one over 450 yards, the other one almost 400 yards receiving. So they will be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to an offensive standpoint. So hopefully our defense is up to the task. I know that recently, due to some injuries and other things that we've battled, we've had to make some changes on our defense. And I'm very confident in the coaching staff and the players that the changes they've made will put us into a position to be able to win the game. So, am I missing anything on the Cattle Mills lead-in?
Nope. And not to mention, I know excuse me. I know you mentioned that we made some changes on defense, but that's kind of the norm.
Yeah.
For this year, and even backing up to some last year, their defense has changed on a weekly basis for the Sanger team because they don't have run a straight this is the defense we're going to stick with. They run their defense based off of what the offense is going to run from the other team.
Yep.
But the way I look at it, man, our Sanger offense is just so powerful. You can't stop our offense right now. They just look unstoppable. So if we can't stop them on defense, we're just going to outscore them on offense.
Yeah.
Either way, I do have faith in our defense, though. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I agree with you. I think that it's going to be an interesting game. I do think that Sanger takes control in the second half. I think we're going to outlast them. I think Cattle Mills is pretty banged up at multiple spots. And I think while we do have our own share of injuries, I do think that I think we're a deeper team.
Yes.
I think when you go to the fact that we have 3 or 4 different wide receiver targets that can come out and be a weapon. We have 2 or 3 different running back targets that can be a weapon, especially when you mix in Austin Martin and what he can do in the mountain package and other packages that he gets the ball in the running formation. Reed Sebastian's having a great season. He came out and started off a little slower than I'm sure he would want to in his first week against Paris. But since then, he's been lights out. You go back and look at his stats, he's been near perfect.
Yes, yeah,
since
I
that first
agree.
week.
And you know, the Paris game, you know, it could have been nerves, could have been the defense they're running, it could have been anything. He could have had a bad day.
Yeah.
He could have had something going on, you know, that week at school on his mind. You know, everybody's human. People make mistakes. The best thing that he could have done is exactly what he did, is
Bounce
move
back.
on from it and bounce back. And boy, did he ever bounce
Next
back.
play,
He's having
next
a
series, next game. Yep.
Tremendous season.
Yep. He's had 2 perfect games, an
Yes.
8-for-8 game and a 9-for-9 game. I mean, that's pretty unheard of. And his stats would be greater if he played full games. We only played a half a game against Pottsboro, and he only played less than a half a game against Bonham.
Bonham, yes, sir.
So now we go into our games of the week. And so this is our Week 6 games of the week. This is brought to you by Papa D's. If you have not already experienced the dining at Papa D's, I highly recommend it. Papa D's is right there off the square on 4th Street. I'm blanking on what the address is now, 311 maybe?
Gotcha.
But anyways, it's right there, right across from the park at 4th Street and just inside of Bolivar, in between Bolivar and what is that goes to Elm Street? Yeah, it's on Elm and 4th Street, the corner right there across from the park. You can't miss it. It's decorated very nicely. It's very, it gives you an upscale feel, and they do a really good job. Their food is legendary. The address is 311 North 4th Street. I think I said 311.
You did.
I know.
You
Look
did.
at that.
Yep.
I'm impressed with myself.
Official website is papadscuisine.com.
And their beverages are also very good. I would make sure that you drink responsibly.
Are you looking at me?
No, I'm just looking at both of us.
Oh.
I can see
You
myself in
see
your
me
glasses.
shift? I was looking at me also in your glasses. I look good.
So Papa D's, go see our friends over there, Diego and Lulu and the entire crew. They'll do a great job. They'll take care of you. They have great service. They want to make sure you have a great experience, and we're appreciative of them for coming on board to sponsor this week's Games of the Week. So as we dive into the Games of the Week, obviously this game that we're here at right now, Cattle Mills comes in at 3-2, coming to the Indian territory, and playing the Sanger Indians also 3-2. Sanger's coming in off a big win from Bonham versus Bonham. So we're 1-0 in district. Cattle Mills is coming in 0-1 in district after a loss to Crum Bobcats 42-17 last week. That game was close for a while, and then Crum pulled away in the second half. Speaking of Crum, they host Van Alstyne tonight. Van Alstyne's been a little banged up. I think they're getting a little bit healthy, so that game could be closer than we think. Bonham Warriors are at the 0-4 Gainesville Leopards. That could be an interesting game. Somebody's got to win. Unlike the NFL, it will not end in a tie. And then our game of the week, like the game of the week. That's why it's in red. The Aledo Bearcats, 5-0, ranked like number 2 or 3 in the state of Texas, top 15 in the country, come in to play the Denton Ryan Raiders, a perennial powerhouse in its own right. That game is at 7 p.m. tonight. I keep saying it's tonight. I really hope it wasn't last night, and I'm talking about something that already happened. And then other games of note, Vernon Lions travel to Ponder Lions. Vernon's 4-1, Ponder's 4-0. And then Everman Bulldogs travel to the Argyle Eagles. Argyle looks to continue to be undefeated in district. Salina Bobcats head to Aubrey Chaparrals. Aubrey's had a very tough non-district schedule and then started out against Sulphur Springs, who went 3 rounds deep in the playoffs last week in district and come into this game 0-1 in district. But Salina beat the Panther Creek Panthers, Frisco Panther Creek Panthers last week in a close game, 35-28. to remain undefeated. Pilot Point Bearcats travel to the Palmer Bulldogs. Palmer's 5-0. Pilot Point looks to continue their win streak in district. Their only loss is to a really good Lindsay Knights team. And then last but not least, the Whitesboro Bearcats, another district game for that district that Pilot Point is in, is 2-2, and they travel to Life Oak Cliff, who is 3-2. That's another district matchup for that district. So lots of games of interest that we will be keeping you updated on throughout the evening and the game tonight. We will try to do updated scores at the end of the first quarter, halftime, end of the third quarter, and then we will post this on our Facebook page when all the games go final at some point this evening. So very exciting stuff.
I'm really curious out of all those. I obviously want to see how the Gainesville and Bonham game really intrigues me. And looking at their records in year 7, well, neither team has won the game, and that's what's so intriguing about it is, I don't think either one of those teams want to look at each other and say, you know, I really don't want to win this game. They're hungry. You have two programs that the athletic director and the coaching staff is really trying to grow those programs right now, and you know it from a personal standpoint from both schools.
Yep.
So it's exciting to see. I'm anxious to see how how that game comes out, because obviously we can't have both of them win, and we dang sure don't want to tie, because this is not the NFL, like you said. So extremely excited about that game.
Yep. All right. So I would be remiss if I didn't come back and mention our official church of the Sanger Sports Corner is Church of Christ. You can go see them right here on 5th Street and Locust. I believe it's Locust. Yes, they're at 400 South Locust Street. Their services on Sunday, Bible classes from 9:30 to 10:15, and then full worship service on Sundays from 10:30 to 11:30. They also have Wednesday evening services from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. And you can reach them during their office hours if you need to go by on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 to 5. So we want a big shout out to Mason Peebles and everything they're doing over there at the Church of Christ. We appreciate all the work that they do. They've been big supporters of our program, big time listeners and fans, and we appreciate their support coming on board this year as the official church of the Sanger Sports Corner. So, Brett, we covered a lot in a very short period of time. We went on the air at 5:06. It's 34 minutes later, and I feel like we've been on the air for 2 hours.
Yeah. But it was good. I'm glad that we're getting the word out there for the Stephen Baker Foundation.
Yep.
Lots of exciting things coming to the school, and this is just one small piece of the building blocks of everything that's going on around here.
Agreed. Yeah, it's exciting time. There's a lot of fun, exciting things going on in Sanger USA, and hopefully you have the opportunity to be a part of it. This football team has a lot of people rallying around it. I think it's a great atmosphere. If Sanger can stay on the course that we're at, we're setting up for a very big game in 2 weeks. So let's root these Sanger Indians on to victory tonight, and then they travel to Van Alstyne next week. And then in 2 weeks from tonight, we host the Crum Bobcats here, which could be 2 undefeated teams in district and could be for the district championship.
I agree. And you know, it's we've talked about this with Coach Rogers many times over the last couple of years. It is a budding rivalry that obviously it's not a deep rivalry because Crum hasn't had football that long.
Right.
But when those two teams play each other, you never know who's going to win.
Yeah, and when the game matters like it will this year,
yes,
it makes for a bigger impact to the rivalry.
History shows it's been the visiting team that's come away with the win the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's true.
So before we get off here, I want to put a plug out there for the old number 6 bus. The culinary kids are out here working their tails off in the heat. They got the grill out there. They are serving smash burgers this week. Their smash burgers are $6. Drinks are $2. Chips are $1.50. A meal deal, you get a smash burger, chips, and a drink for $8.50. Dessert of the week this week is a homemade cinnamon roll. So come see these kids out here before the game gets started. And Sarah is...
Well, bring it over here so we can show everybody on camera.
So this is what the cinnamon rolls look like this week, and
do not take my
okay. I was about to tell them how good it tastes, Sarah.
That murder would have been captured
Ladies
live.
and gentlemen, that is your president of the school board, Sarah York, that refused to share her cinnamon roll with your favorite broadcaster. She said the old number 6 has got plenty of them. Come out here and get you some.
Well, thank you for tuning in this evening. If you're on your way out here, please stop by and say hello. We'll still be out here visiting with people for the next however long. We usually don't go in until, 6:30 or so to get set up inside.
We will sign autographs up until 6:15.
Yes, and we will also sell you raffle tickets for our Christmas raffle.
Yes.
You can come by and see in person what is all on our raffle.
We have it right here. I'm going
list.
to do a quick flash because Facebook land can't see it.
Yep. And so you can come by and see everything that's in the raffle. You can buy raffle tickets because I've had people ask me if we take cash, and I'm like, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And so come by and see us, and we will gladly sell you raffle tickets. We still have plenty left, about 50 or so days left before we stop selling tickets and start doing daily drawing. You have the opportunity to win a Pew Pew every single day for 30 days. So come by and see us. We'll talk to you about it. We'll educate you how it works if you've never been in one before. They are interesting and fun, and we can. It's a great fundraiser for us to help put some money into our scholarship fund for these young athletes coming to graduate soon. And so come by and say hello and visit with us about football or anything in general. We appreciate the support. We will be doing an update soon on the result of the volleyball game that's happening right now. The varsity girls volleyball team is taking on Van Alstyne as we speak. That live broadcast is actually happening on the school's YouTube channel as we speak. So if you want to switch over to there and check out how they're doing. Obviously, we couldn't be in two places at once, so we couldn't step in and broadcast.
I don't think the world can handle two each of us.
Whew. It might just explode.
I know.
So, but